Hello and welcome to the 500 workshop. Today we're going to be looking at door cards and how to remove them. They can differ slightly between different models, but the principles are the same. We're going to be working on the 500L today, so let's take a look at the door cards and see how we remove them. So this is the door card for our 500L. This has 4 points where it's fixed onto the car, so in order to remove it we need to remove all of those. First of all, we have a door pull handle, that's to close the door. The second is we have a wind up for the windscreen winder. That's going to be the most difficult piece to get off, so we'll actually probably start there. We then on this model have a door handle latch here, and finally we have kind of a map holder piece here on the door. So a lot of the models don't have this, but this is part of the L model, so we have it on this car. So first of all, we're going to start with our window winder. I'm trying to get into our window winder as much as I can here to show you what's happening. So the kind of window winder is made up of a few bits. We've got our kind of handle here, and then we've got this chrome kind of bevel, and in between there you need to make a gap, so you need to push quite hard to force it back, and then we're going to introduce this kind of pick that I've got. You can use a flathead screwdriver and stuff as well, but I find this the most useful, and the best thing to do is for me to try and get it off, and then you can actually see what is holding it together, because to get a camera in here is very difficult. And I think I've got it. You need to be really careful here, because these clips go flying everywhere. So what we have is our clip and our handle. So our handle, if you can see in there, has some nice grooves cut in it, which align with the grooves cut into the winder itself. So they slide on and match up, and that allows you to turn the handle while moving the mechanism. But we also have our clip. Now, if you can see on this handle, it's got 2 kind of slices either side. Hopefully you can see those. And that clip fits in here to those grooves. Let's see if I can put it in there. So it fits in there, and within this bit on the door as well, this bit on the actual mechanism, there's kind of a ridge between the kind of, I guess you call this kind of like a pinion and the main shaft. And the clip here fits either side of this piece. So if we can just get it out a second. So if we put that back on, I don't think we're going to be able to exactly show this on camera, or very easily anyway. Let's take that down a bit. So just going to lift us up and see whether we can get a slight overhead shot. I think it's going to be tricky to say the least. But this clip goes in this side, and if we give it a helping hand to push it in, then we can no longer pull this off, because that small kind of C clip is holding it in place. So to get it out again, we just kind of hook ourselves under, and it's coming out. You really have to be careful not to ping it off, and there it just dropped on the floor, and now again we can remove that. So that's our first stage. Removing the door handle is probably the most complex part of that procedure. It's worth saying, and especially on my F, I really struggle sometimes to get these off, especially in the F. The actual door release handle is mounted up here on the top of the door, and there's not a lot of room to push those back. These items are pretty cheap to replace, and especially on the F, they're black, really cheap bit of plastic. If you're really struggling to get your door card off, or to get the handles off, then just destroy this and buy a couple of new ones. They're really cheap and they're really easy to put back on, but you want to try and not damage your door card. So if there has to be something that gets sacrificed, make sure it's this. These fly off everywhere and they're really difficult to find on the garage floor or wherever wherever you're performing the operation. So yeah, always, if you have to, sacrifice these parts. Now on this particular door, we've got like a piece of chrome stop next to the kind of door release latch. That just appears, especially on this car, and I don't know whether this is the same in all, but just to slide over and out. Now you can see that someone either tried to glue this in place or fix it at some point, so it obviously kind of pops out quite easily, but that just leaves us with this in place. We're not going to remove this. As we remove the door card, we should be able to just maneuver that around the handle in its wide open position. So next we've got this pull handle. They're quite chunky screws, this, so in order to fit a good head in them, I'm using my ratchet. That's one out. That's our second one out. Okay, we're left with the map holder here, which has two screws either side. Someone has replaced these with flathead over time, so just going to use a flathead screwdriver to try and remove this. Okay, so it appears someone has glued or fixed this in somehow to make sure it never moves. So we're not going to be able to remove that, but let's see if we can remove our door card. The way I'd normally remove one of these door cards, and we can't get this off, so I'm not quite sure if it's going to work, but take it about 2/3 up, try and get your fingers behind it, and we're going to push our thumbs at the top and just try and lever down. As you can see, it's starting to come. You need to be really careful with these door cards as well, because they're not the best made things, and with age as well they tend to perish. go. I'm just going to, got a clip on this side as well. Clip on both sides. These tend to break quite easily. Let's see if we can maneuver this out.
There we go. Oh, it's broken the clip. It's not unusual. It's worth having some spares because they do have a habit of breaking and they're cheap and easy to replace. So there we have our door card off. Actually, that's why I couldn't unscrew these, so they're actually bolted on this side. I'd never actually taken one of these off before, so that's how they're affixed. But as you can see, it's been a while since this has probably been off the car. And there's the inside of our door. Looks all good, there's no signs of rust or anything, so not worried about that. Next thing we'll do is refit the door card. So I have built up quite a lot of spares over my time as a 500 owner, and I do have a spare clip for this door card. So now I have to try it and remove the old clip that's in place that I was struggling to get out before. Let's see if I can encourage it. Yeah, I'm starting to get it moving. I don't really want to damage the bodywork though. We are damaging that bodywork. Obviously you won't see it because it's behind the door card, but I'd rather not have that happen. There we go, shot out. So here's our new one. Now on the door cards, these kind of clip in behind, so we'll pull that out. So it has a tiny clip on that side, as you can see, so we can thread that back behind here. Actually it needs to be the other way. So it kind of goes in between the board and the actual vinyl itself. Not the easiest things to squeeze in. Okay, so we're going to push this in the hole and then just use a flathead just to help it go under. Not quite there. Okay, got it in that time. So that's good. Right, so we're going to do a reverse of what we did before. So first thing we're going to do is just make sure this handles through. Pull out the handle. Slide it over. Bring it up. Position it in the bottom of the door frame. Can't quite see that, so I'll just lower this second. So push it into the bottom of the door frame, and now we need to kind of lap this behind before pushing in our clips. So similar to how we took it out, try and give it a bit of a bend. There we go, you know when you've got a nice bend, you can feel it go. And then we're just gonna try and keep the pressure on whilst feeding it all the time under here. And there we go. And now we push our side clips in, so we just work out where they are. One in. I think that one's gone in of its own accord, which is great. So there, our door card back on. And now we can fit the 3 items back on the door. So the first item is going to be our handle. That's on. Next we're just going to put our clip over here, push that in, done. And the final bit is our complex door handle. So I'm going to take you in a little bit closer. So we're going to put our kind of chrome spacer on first. And it's going to be a reversal of what we did before. So I'm going to put the handle on in a position where I can get to the side here. Going to put a little bit of pressure on there, on the chrome bezel, and just try and squeeze this in between. Oh, and it's taken it. And there we have a refitted door handle. So that's our door card fully back on the car and all working. So just to show you an F and the difference on this F, we've still got a door handle. This one's metal though, nicer fit. 2 screws at the top there. And on this car you've got different handles. So you've got the wind up handle, which is still kind of same position. Not a chrome bezel but a black plastic bezel, but exactly the same thing. You push that in, hook something around the little clip and just pull it out. It's always kind of in line with the handle, so the back of it is always to the back of the handle, so you can pull it from there. Likewise with this door release, very similar thing. The back of the clip is in line here, so that's the area where you want to try and pull it out from. And this obviously is very close to the door. There's not a lot of room for maneuver, so like I said before, if you have to sacrifice these plastic bits, then do that. They're very cheap, and certainly I've struggled on a couple of times and found myself replacing those, but otherwise perfectly achievable, perfectly doable, and then you can remove your door card.